Welcome back to the Brothers in the Deep End podcast. Speaking today is your host, Ethan Addison. I'm here today with all my brothers, all the hosts, all the co-hosts here. So we got my man here, Kevin Lopez.
What up, man?
We got Casey Incle.
Yo.
And we got Adrian over here.
What's going on?
So on today's episode, we're going to be speaking about my brother, Casey Incle, a.k.a. Case, with a period.
Oof.
Brief, and just how I know Casey. This is my brother. I knew him since middle school. Our bond has grew tremendously. This guy just means everything to me. If I had a blood brother, it would be him. He reminds me of myself in a lot of ways. He definitely made me a better man, and I'm so grateful for this guy. Casey's story is just like everyone else's on this podcast. It's a little similar, but it's unique and different because it's your own story. Growing up on the south side of Brooklyn, I think developed all our characters, especially with Casey's. For those of you that may not know Casey, like us, you know what I'm saying? He's a United States Marine Corps, a combat veteran. But this wasn't always the case, right?
Never that. No.
So he's here to talk about his story and his transition from high school, a high school student to a Marine and now upcoming rap star. Yeah, I said it, upcoming rap star, because we're going to speak into existence. He recently just got back home from his tour in Afghanistan, and now he's finishing up his first major album, detailed to drop soon. So you know what, Casey? Just take us back to the upbringings of Casey, your childhood. Oof. Real quick with your parents.
All right. So, it's something for you guys who don't know me. My name's Casey Incle. Born and raised Sunset Park, Brooklyn, New York, and Bay Ridge. I come from a very traditional Hispanic family. I'm pretty sure everyone here, most people in this room could relate to that a lot. So, I come from two parents, like everyone. My mom, my dad, Ethan knows my parents. They're both very great, amazing people. My mom raised me a lot of my life. She's a very, hardworking woman. She's a corporate woman. She works at J.P. Morgan Chase. She's done a lot for me my whole entire life. She's given me everything I needed. She taught me how to be smart, diligent, and she's literally, everything to me. She's my mom. My dad, on the other hand, he's a hella dope dude. He's amazing, and he taught me how to pretty much be a man, and he kind of showed me the streets of New York. He showed me the streets of Brooklyn. He showed me the real side of things. My mom gave me a different perspective. So, that's how parents usually are. Your mom's always going to be more empathetic and sympathetic, and your dad's always going to be a little bit more hard on you. In most cases. I'm not going to say that's everybody.
Right. That's similar to me, too. Like, it's weird because my mom, it was like that, too. She gave me that care, but my dad showed me that real, that real grit, the real cold side of this world, and prepared me for it. And I think your dad did that for you too. You know what I'm saying? Your dad's a gangster.
Yeah, if you guys know him, he's an OG, man. He just don't give a fuck about anything, dog. He's crazy.
Right. So, okay, what's one thing about your mom that stands out, and one thing about your dad?
Okay. So one thing about my mom, she's a Leo. That's very interesting to state, but she is literally like the HBIC. So with my mom, if you know her, she's literally always going to be, she has this mentality where she's like the head bitch in charge, but that's a great trait I have because my mom will not settle for nothing less, and she knows her worth, bro. Nothing less. My mom is one of the most strongest females I've ever met. She's been through so much. She's been through so much with me as well, you know what I'm saying? I didn't make her life the easiest growing up for sure, but she was outstanding, and I owe her everything. My father, on the other hand, he's a pretty cool guy too. He's way different compared to mom. They're literally complete opposites, and it's really interesting, right? Opposites attract. They're not together anymore. They kind of separated when I was one. But my dad, on the other hand, he's a nitty gritty type guy, and he's very old school, very traditional, Puerto Rican. I'm gonna say gangster, I guess. He's kind of old school Puerto Rican gangster. It's probably the best way to put him. And he's one thing I would say that's really, really good about him is he's straight up raw. He doesn't care who he's talking to. He's always going to be real with you. He's going to be the realest man in the room. He's always going to tell you how he feels. Very vocal, very open. My mom's very similar in that sense, but she will always say it in a very professional way so it doesn't hurt you. But my dad just don't care, bro.
Yeah, your dad sounds like
no fucks.
Doesn't give a fuck about how you feel.
He could hurt somebody's feelings if he wanted to.
Oh, he don't give a shit. He was like, yeah, you hurt, bet. He's like, shake the sand out your vagina, bro.
The truth hurts.
Yeah.
That sounds like me a little bit, I'd say. Yeah. It sounds like, definitely how my dad was. Me and you, and especially Kevin over here, we went to middle school with you and high school. Adrian went to the high school too. We went to Fort Hamilton together.
Yeah.
So how was middle school? I want you talking about how was middle school for you, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then just transition to high school. You know what I'm saying? So talk about how was middle school for you than high school.
Okay, so my parents were very strict growing up. You know, most parents are, I think, at least I believe. You know, some parents aren't. But, you know, as a child growing up, at least in middle school, I personally believe, like, I didn't have, like, as much freedom as a lot of my friends. You know what I'm saying? Like, my parents would never let me walk home alone from school. They never let me hang out at other people's houses. So I was kind of sheltered, you know. I was always, like, to myself. I always, like, relaxed at home. Never really went out a lot, you know. Ethan probably can hear. Like, I used to see Ethan's pops all the time, like, rest in peace to the king. But I used to see him all the time working out at the park. And I used to see Ethan at the park when I would walk home. And I'm just like, damn, dog, like, I wish I could be outside working
middle
out.
school, you was working out in the park with your pops?
Yeah,
Bro,
so
every morning, son.
Yeah.
I saw him all together, bro.
yeah, so real quick story about me, and I'll just go back to Casey. So in middle school, like my dad would always be there before
Like
we
5 in the morning,
yeah,
bro.
Yeah, before, and like he'll meet up with me, be like, "All right, come to the park, meet up with me," and we'll do like a quick little workout. Like I'll do like 2 sets of 5 on push-ups and pull-ups, and I thought I was like, "Oh yeah, I got this working before everyone." And I just being my father was cool, but what Casey is saying, I hear him out on that because with him being sheltered and whatnot, because every time I used to try to invite I couldn't invite Casey nowhere. You know what I'm saying? It was just like he always was the kid to go home and like go home right after classes ended. You know, the only time I saw Casey was in class. He didn't do much. You know what I'm saying? It was just I was hanging out with me or shout out one. I was hanging out with me and them after school and whatnot. And Casey was never there with us. He was always strictly home and playing video games like crazy. Like this is a dude that just went home and fiended on video games more combat. And I know he can talk about that. And I know his parents, I respect his parents a ton, but I know they were like his mother was really protective over him, and my mom is too. So I kind of could hear that, but my mom is not that strict where it's like, yo, you're going right home. Like she kind of gave me a leeway of like, having that traditional like New York City childhood story, you know what I'm saying? And Casey was just always, in the crib playing games. But how did and that transition to like high school as well, right? A little bit?
Yeah. So like I'm gonna say the beginning of high school. So this is when after I was done with middle school, being pretty sheltered. I joined the JROTC program in high school. I wanted to do something that was, a lot more different than like your regular traditional kid would do. So I chose a program that, that I think not many people would do, and not many people join the military. So I joined the Army JROTC program at Fort Hamilton High School. It kind of took me out of my comfort zone a lot, and this is when I started to notice, like, my parents started giving me some leeway, because I told them, like, yo, I was like, I'm in this program. I got to do, like, the teams in this program, and I have to stay after school. Like, and my mom was like, what do you mean you got to stay after school? I'm like, yo, like, I'm going to be on my own. I'm going to be with, like, my friends, and I got to, like, work out and do all the stuff like they tell me to do. And, like, at first, it was a little bit of, like, a transition for my mom and my dad. My dad didn't really care. He was just like, bro, like, as long as you just don't die, like, I don't care. And I was like, cool. But my mom, she would always, like, oh, just call me before practice, after practice. You know how regular mom shit.
Typical parent shit.
Yeah. So, like, that transition was pretty big, even for me as a person, especially someone who was very isolated. And, like Ethan said, just playing video games all the time, it was pretty big. And I feel like it turned me into a social butterfly over time, and it was a big transition, and I really liked it a lot. I like the freedom. I like being on my own. I think being on your own is very important, especially at this age. I feel like it gives you a sense of entitlement, kind of, and it gives you a little bit of a oomph, I think, above your peers, because like, being on your own is the best thing. Like, who gets to say they got to be on their own and not like behind their parents all the time,
right?
Dog?
And I think like for like high school and middle school, like, you gotta learn how to be independent too, because then it just like it makes that flow when you get independent, like how we're in our young 20s, we're all in our early 20s, right? So it just kind of made that transition smoother for when you was really on your own and hanging out with your friends, you know what I'm saying? Rather than being new, you're like, oh shoot, I'm finally like on my own, oh my god, like, you know what I'm saying? Having that
but then that happens when you have these kids that grow up super sheltered and then they end up in their 20s being out for the first time, and all those mistakes that we made growing up as kids, they're making those mistakes in their 20s, but 10 times. Why? Because they're older, they got money now, they could do things that you couldn't do when you're 16, 17, 18 years old.
Yeah. And it's crazy because when people transition into like a daily routine like that, it seems weird to them. You know what I'm saying? Like, they kind of don't know how to like kind of fit into that routine. You get what I'm saying?
Right, fit into society.
How did that feel?
It was pretty different. And honestly, like, I'm going to answer your question right now, but I think the biggest thing for me was like the lifestyle change, because I was pretty chubby. I'm not gonna lie, like, I never worked out in my life, and I joined one of the hardest teams this RTC program had to offer. So like, I went to like tryouts the first day and I was like literally dying, dog. Like I was literally puking type shit because I never worked out in my life. And like it really made that whole entire like lifestyle change. And that transition was honestly the best thing I probably ever did. And it kind of just set the tone, I think, for the rest of like my years ongoing.
So like, yeah, I mean, like being in that challenging state of mind for the first time. Like for me, when I come to an obstacle, when I come to a challenge, for me, it's like, it gives me motivation because I'm facing something that's I'm not good at. So when you're thrown up in that first time, was that like, oh shit, like I need to get my shit together, or like, yo, what the fuck am I doing? Should I stop?
That was probably much like a what the fuck am I doing situation. Because I was young. I was like, I'm like, do I really want to do
But you
this
did
right
stick
now?
with it.
Yeah, but
Like,
I
what
stuck
caused
with
you to
it
stick with
because
it?
my mom actually, you know, this comes back to parents. You know, my mom was like, you know, like you're stronger than that. Like just ride it out. You know, if you don't want to do it in the end, then don't do it. But like, she's like, I think you should stick with it. I think it's really good for you. And yeah, I stuck with it the whole entire time. And then, you know, as I got older, you know, junior year, they had like, you know, how like Fort Hamilton is like the college fair.
Right.
I had no intention originally, you know, like Ethan said, I'm in the Marine Corps now, but I had no intention ever, like literally ever, of joining the military. I personally didn't even like the military. I liked the program, you know, it was pretty cool. I just wanted to wear the uniform and I thought it was kind of cool. And I was like, I'm not gonna lie to you, I was in high school and I was like, fuck bitches get money. Girls like a uniform, you know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna lie to you, like I thought that shit was dope and like it was helping me get in shape and I was always on my pretty boy shit. So like that's just how it was. But the one day, you know, during my college fair, you know, that we all like attend. I don't know if y'all went to it, but Fort Hamilton had like this college fair thing one day.
Yeah.
And my original plan was I was gonna go to college and I was gonna do an Army ROTC program to a commission to an Army officer. And I was just walking around and I came across this guy named Christopher Ailman, at the time Sergeant Ailman. And he was like, hey, like, what do you want to do in your future? And I was just like, I don't know. I was like, I want to be an Army officer. I want to go to college and I want to still be in the military at the same time.
Right.
And he was like, well, you know, you can do that in the Marine Corps. And I look at him and I was just like, well, if you could sell it to me, sell it to me. I was like, if you want me that bad in the Marine Corps, sell it to me. So like low key, like he sold it to me, dog. And he got me that day. And like, I was just like, I'll talk to my mom about this, blah, blah, blah. And all my friends were joining the Marine Corps too. You know, some of you guys may know Brian Guzman,
Yeah, Brian.
10th
my
Arching.
God.
So like they all joined and they all wanted to join the Marine Corps. And I was like, I don't know if I'm ready for that. But if my boys are doing it, I'm going to say fuck it too. I'm going to join with them. And I kind of had the mentality. I didn't really know what I was getting myself into, but I was like, I didn't want to go to college. I kind of hated school already at the time. So like that shit was just crazy. And he literally sold it to me. And I told my mom and she was like, the Marine Corps? Why you want to join the Marine Corps? You trying to die? And I was just like, why are you going to say it like that?
Yeah,
like,
I
I'm
think
just
my
trying
mom,
to be badass.
my mom would have said the same shit.
Yeah. And I was like, I'm just trying to be badass and I'm sorry, but like if I'm gonna join a branch, I'm gonna do something not many people can do. And at this time in my life, I wanted a challenge and I wanted to be bigger than myself. And the reason why I joined the Marine Corps was honestly like one of my biggest things, I think, through like my whole entire life, especially through like schooling, was like I felt like I was low-key soft and everyone thought I was like that soft ass kid.
Speaking on that, I was the one that thought he was fucking soft, and I think I told you. I think I told you
On the
plenty of
tables
times.
turn.
I think
Yeah.
I told you plenty of times over PlayStation because we used to play PlayStation a lot, and in person, I told him like, "Yo, you fucking soft, man." Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just, to me, it's like, you know, I'm growing up like when my pops, I had that little independence when I was young, and look at this kid, like he's just breaking out that norm. He don't really know what these. Well, he don't really know what these streets is about. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Quote unquote, and like. He don't know, you know what I'm saying? This world's gonna eat him up in the back of my head. I told him this straight up, you know, but when I saw him, like you said, he got in that JROTC program when Casey did that. Me and him weren't really talking like that. I was doing football, he's doing JROTC. When I saw him doing that, I was like, oh shit, that's some serious business. Cause like I know them motherfuckers is going fucking hard. Like when you train like with the JROTC, like you said,
No, they do some shit.
Yeah,
they do some shit.
Even it's like you know what I'm saying? It's like they were like in mini boot camp throughout high school.
Every day too.
Yeah.
It wasn't like just like a little bit of hours. You guys were doing like what's that, rucking or something? I don't even know
like
what the hell.
runs, a lot of just
A
fucking
bunch of stuff. I see
wild
yo
shit,
up
dog.
and down the field carrying each other, doing all these crazy stuff, and for hours.
And a lot of
on
those people are
end.
serving now.
And you want to know something crazy too?
Yeah.
Something that he said, not a lot of people do it. How many people were with you? How many people were in that group? I always saw like six
And
people.
so we had like a small
six,
team.
like 5-6 kids. I didn't see that many people doing it.
So like our team, like the Raider team was like the quote unquote badass team out of JRTC because like it's like the hardest shit. It's supposed to be like equivalent to like Ranger schooling type thing. And like there was probably like 15 of us. That wasn't a big group. Like considering the program had like 100 something kids, like 15 of us out of like 100 something, that's like 10%. You know, that's not like bad at all. Maybe less, maybe 8% of us. And like, I like the challenge, dog. And like, I just love that challenge, and I always wanted to be better than everyone else.
And you were,
and I'm still like that, dog.
You were selected for the program, right?
Yeah, like they pick you and like it's tryouts, and like if you don't make it, bro, they say, just get out.
And then you with the radius, and then when I seen you doing that radius stuff and you was putting on size and going hard, I'm like, oh shoot, Casey's unlocking this inner beast, because that's what football did for me. You know what I'm saying? Unlock that inner beast. And that military stuff, I knew that shit is gonna automatically bring out of you when you're doing like that whole Raider Marine stuff. And I knew that transition was coming when you going to the Marines. I knew he was gonna go. When you did. I was like, yeah, he's gonna do that. And then when he did it, it was a clarification. And then talk about, you know, that phase when you went to boot camp and like after boot camp.
So, you know, like I said, I signed. My parents signed. They agreed at one point. We had a lot of meetings beforehand. My parents signed the contract when I was like 16, 17. I'm gonna say 16.
Yeah, so they had a right consent.
Yeah, so they signed when I was 16, and then, you know, senior year, they wait for you to, you know, get your either your GED or your diploma. Obviously, I got my diploma. I graduated with you guys. But yeah, the whole point of that is like once that diploma hit, like I was outie January 22nd, dog. Like I didn't even go to. I don't know if y'all noticed, but like, I actually wasn't at high school graduation.
Yeah, I know. You were
out
already.
Yeah, I did not go. I honestly skipped like 2 regions. I didn't give a fuck about them. I didn't need to take them. That's if you really wanted like your advanced regions diploma. It's just a fucking sticker. Yeah, no. I'm just like, that shit. I already know. I already got accepted into the college I wanted to get into, and I told him to just put me on hold for a little bit until like I was ready. And then January 22nd, the day came. You know, it was a very touchy day. You know, I said goodbye to my parents, and I was like I was hyped, but also very nervous. I was anxious at the time because I didn't know what to expect, man. You know, it was the first time on my own. You're going to meet a lot of different people. I'm going to be challenged. Like, this isn't like little kid shit, dog.
This isn't that high school Raider shit.
Like, they're literally training you to, like, kill people. And you're a weapon, dog. And, like, they train you to be the best you can be. And, like, I left in, like, amazing shape. And, like, when I got there, dog, like, it was just a whole different beast of, like, mental, dog. Like,
did you have, like, a oh, shit moment?
Bro, the first day I got there, bro, I was like, this shit sucks. Like, I was just like, it's already too late because I'm already here. But, like, bro, it's like, it's a real, like, true experience, though. Like, you fly and, like, you're with a whole group of random people. No one's talking, bro. And, like, y'all mostly bald. I shaved my head bald the day before. I was looking like Kevin over here.
You had the Mr. Eggman right here.
Eggman.
Right. But, like, it really is an experience, dog. Like, no shit. Like, they put you on this bus and, you know, you start flying to different places. And, you know, once you get to MCRD, Harris Island, you know, in South Carolina, then, boy, the fucking tables really did turn, dog. And it was crazy. It was fucking, I swear to God, though, like, the first week was, like, the hardest, dog. Like, the transition was just crazy because that first week alone was the hardest thing I've ever done, like harder than anything in like Raiders. And I was like, this is gonna be crazy. Like I don't know what the fuck I'm doing here. I was stressed out. I was pissed off. I was miserable, dog. But you just had to stick to it. And like they always say, like you always get asked this a lot, but like they're like, does it get easier? I just feel like you get used to the bullshit, and like that's really how it is. So you know, throughout those 3 weeks, very strict training, man. A lot of different training aspects you learn. You know, I think the craziest part is like the first like week or two is like you get at the time you get an M16, and like they give that shit to you and you're just like, being from New York City, we don't hold guns, bro. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? We don't have like guns like that legally.
Like, oh shit, you know,
straight handed to you.
Yeah, like you sign everything out, you're all waiting in a line, and they give you your M16. And you're like, I'm just like, oh, this is like a real gun. I was like, this is crazy. I was like, this is dead ass crazy.
That's kind of dope though.
Yeah, but each week was like just something different. You know what I'm saying? Like 1 week was hell week, 1 week was medical, 1 week we actually did 2 weeks of shooting. You do 2 weeks like snapping in for shooting, and then you know you have the last final, you know, stretch, the last month, and the last like 3 days is what makes you or breaks you to become, you know, United States Marine.
Are those last 3 days what they call like the crusade or
the crucible?
Like the crucible.
So yeah, it's really crazy, man. It's just you get like no sleep, you hike for like just fucking OD miles, you do a lot of training. It really blows, and they take you through like all these like simulations of all the greatest wars we were in, and you're pretty much doing the same thing these Marines did at the time. And like they have like fake gun sounds and like fake explosions, and you're literally crawling under barbed wire, and it was an amazing experience, man. And like you really feel great like when you're done. That final hike home is like 10 miles long. Wow. And it just feels so good because after these 3 days you got no sleep, you're already destroyed, you're literally like demolished, dog. And that final hike literally makes you or breaks you. And like to finish the hike and like for them to like hand you like that EGA in your hand, bro, like I started crying like a little bit.
Hell yeah. After
I was
everything,
like, kidding me, bro?
I can't even like imagine me doing boot camp and like I already know what you was feeling. Like that boot is fucking military boot camp. Like they're gonna prepare you to be the best soldiers in the fucking world. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man.
And I can't even imagine what the fuck you've been through. So for anyone out there that's, you know what I'm saying, about to get into this shit, just be ready, cause you about to tap in mentally, dog.
Yeah.
And that turn you to a different beast, cause now, you know, mentally you just fucking
Yeah, dog.
Yeah,
And
nothing could phase you now. You
That
can't. You
shit-
go through that.
that shit really changed me, dog. Like they really they really tear you down, bro. They really tear you down to build your ass back up. And it's all part of the process. And you know, it's not for everyone. We started with a lot of people and a lot of people didn't make it. You
Right.
know, it's not for everybody, dog. And it's something you just learn and you understand like who's gonna be the ones that are gonna be lasting with you and who the people who are gonna just fall out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
and so now you're officially a Marine, right?
Mm-hmm.
What came after? What came after that? Did you go to college? What was the course after boot camp? Real quick.
Copious amounts of sex
What?
the last 10 days after I got back home. But besides that was the joke. I'm
was
fucking
so
with you.
fucking
But they gave us leave. They gave us leave for 10 days, bro. And after 3 months of not doing anything, I was like, I'm ready, bro. I was ready. But no, so like on a serious note, you know, after that transition, after those 3 months, yeah, I started college. You know, I was a reservist, so I got to do the Marine Corps life and the college life. And going into college was very different. I was very motivated. You know, I was very eager to learn at the time because, you know, after going through all this, I was like, damn, college about to be a breeze. So my freshman year, you know, I was really motivated. I fucking killed it. I was doing the Marine Corps too at the same time, you know. Also being like a little bit older compared to my peers in college, you know what I'm saying? Because I started and I was 19 already. And I was like, you know, I feel like I'm an old man out the fucking crew with these kids coming in like 17, 18. But also I feel like, with you know, those 3 months, you know, the month after of all the extra like MOS training. So I was gone pretty much for a year. So I did the 3 months of training.
Yeah.
I did the combat training, and then I did my job schooling.
But you're already mentally ahead, even though you're only a year older. You're years ahead.
Yeah, I'm kind of like
mentally
low key, like
already.
light years
Yeah,
ahead with them. And like
already
my
with that.
mentality when I came in, you know, everything is a mentality, but my mentality was so much different compared to all these college kids like just coming in, because they're with their moms the whole time. They've been like, you know, they've been just babied and
you were
kind of
disciplined.
fed.
Coddled.
And I was gone for like a whole year. I was on my own, living on my own, you know, being responsible, managing my own money, you know, making sure I get to work on time and competing with a whole bunch of other people just to make sure I stood out.
Yeah,
you know,
I
in
had
my
a-
career.
I had a brother-in-law who actually came back from the army, and his mannerisms changed as soon as he did. You know what I'm saying? Like he started taking his hat off at the dinner table or whatever. Like I mean,
Subtleties.
it's a lot of all these like mannerisms that change, and I mean it comes with the growth. You know what I'm saying, of the Marine Corps itself. So yeah,
Yeah,
it's really crazy.
and that growth really did help me. I think within the first year and a half in the state of college, the first year and a half, I was very motivated. I loved it. I loved what I was doing. You know, I got to have so much fun, party. I knew when it was time to get serious. You know, I knew when it was time to get serious about the Marine Corps. Halfway, I'm not gonna lie though, halfway through my college career, I'm gonna say college career, I kind of lost that motivation, to be honest with you. And maybe because it was in the major I was in. I used to be sports medicine major, and I personally just didn't like it. And I just felt like since I wasn't doing great in school, it kind of killed my confidence, you know? And I
Yeah.
felt like I just wasn't doing anything. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you,
It felt pointless because you was doing bad. You're like, you know, what the fuck am I really doing
Yeah.
this shit for?
exactly. And like, I felt really bad. I really took advantage, you know, of classes and like I feel like the experience, and I felt bad because, you know, my mom was, you know, helping put out for college.
Yep, major
And like,
sacrifice.
and I was just like, like my mom doesn't deserve this, and like I was just like, bro, like I gotta do something, and like I wanted to do something bigger than myself, dog. I didn't want to go to parties anymore. I didn't want to go to class. I didn't want to do all this shit that kids are doing. So like, one summer, you know, we're at an annual training, and one of the gunnery sergeants stopped me, or he comes into the room and he's just like, hey, like, I have orders for 15 months to like the Middle East. And I was just like, they're like, who's a radio operator? Who wants to go? And I was just like, no one in the room raised their hand because there was no radio operators, but I was the only one in the room.
and you got
Who
that
was a
call.
radio
Yeah.
operator?
And what happened?
You were the only one that was
Yeah,
a radio
in
operator
that
in that
room.
room. The
Yeah.
only one.
And I was also a satellite operator. And then like when I heard that, I've been wanting to deploy, and I was like, you know, I was just like, I got to make my own choices. I'm miserable in college. I'm not doing well. I can honestly give a fuck. I want to do something bigger than myself. And I don't know, like it just sucks balancing out a Marine Corps career, feeling like you're not doing much, you know, and having that opportunity to do something that you could be bettering off like your whole entire like career and future with. So they asked me, and that same exact day I signed the paperwork for those orders, and then I told my mom. I went home and I was like, Mom, like I want you to know, like I'm not going to college next semester. Like I'm gonna sign up for the classes in case this shit don't happen, but like on this day I'm gonna start this process and this transition. And then she was like, where you going? And I was just like, you might like want to sit down for this. And I was like, I'm going to like, I'm assuming Afghanistan. That's what they told me. And, you know, like I didn't break it down to like the rest of my family until later. Like my mom was kind of like devastated a little bit because, you know, Afghanistan is something that, you know.
Yeah, my mom would be, of course. I think our moms all have that common trait. They're sweethearts and we're their babies.
Yeah.
So, and wait, are you an only child? Are you an only child?
I am the only child.
And that's
that makes
too.
it,
And me too. I'm the only child too. So she's like, "Oh, my baby's going to Afghanistan. I'm like, what the? You going again?" I'm like, "Oh shit, war ready!" Like, you know what I'm saying? They ain't fucking around. Like, you could die. You know.
She's already thinking about every possible situation that could go wrong. So,
like, I do have a half sister, but I was raised mostly the only child. Yeah. You know. Right. But that experience was crazy, and I kind of like hit it out for my grandparents for a very long time and to most of my family. My dad already knew. My dad was like, "Get the fuck out of here, do your thing, though." He's like, "Cause my dad was in the army, so my dad was like, yo, just go do." He was like, "Go fucking do your thing, bro. Like, go make your money, go kill some people." And I was like, I'm like, okay, goddamn. So like that was crazy. And then, you know, the day comes, and I'm not gonna lie, it was around like New Year's, and I get a call, and I was like, fuck. I was like, who's this? So they come in like, oh, like, hey, Casey, like, how's it going? I was like, who's this? And at the time, it was my captain. He's a captain now, you know. He's like, this is Lieutenant Heller. He's like, you know, like, you want to come in today? And I was like, nah, it's New Year's. I'm definitely not coming in, dog. Like, come on. And he's like, oh. He's like, you want to come in next week? I was like, that works. So, you know, I started through this whole entire process. You know, I was on my own. Like, this was on my own. Like, I was home, but I was always on my own because I had my own responsibility. I had to work every day, and then I had to get all my shit done. So that first, like, 2 or 3 week period, I was just getting all my admin stuff done, making sure I was ready to, like, leave, making sure, you know, I was saying my goodbyes to, like, all these people. And, like, I flew to California, man, and that was my first step in this journey. It was pre-deployment training, so I did a lot of training to pretty much prep up for the deployment, like just little small requirements, you know what I'm saying? Just to make sure I'm able to go on this deployment. I come back home for like maybe like a week, and then I was out again. And this was when I was kind of like, not like my final goodbye, but it was like my second goodbye. There's like 3 goodbyes in this story. But my second time, this is when I got stationed in North Carolina, Camp Lejeune. So I was there most of the time now. So for this was like when I was getting chopped for real. And this is when I was going to be attached to the group that I'm deploying with. So I met these people. I didn't know anybody, mind you. I was very nervous, anxious. At the time, I was a Lance Corporal, so I was kind of like the bottom of the food chain. I was like, oh, they're going to rip my ass apart, dog. A reservist from New York City. Then I'm like, damn, these active duty Marines. They're like, nah, this kid's probably going to be a turd. They weren't wrong, you know what I'm saying? I didn't know like too much at the time, you know, but like I always would give 100% everything I did no matter what, dog. Like
that's the type of guy you are.
I will always give 100%, dog. Even if I don't know, I'm gonna learn and I'm gonna make sure I get that shit right, so you don't judge me just like the rest of like the other like people in the Marine Corps.
Yep, and that's who the fuck you are. I could definitely, you know, give your respect to that, because that's what you do for sure.
And then like, so I chopped over to this random group. You know, I met, you know, my boys, you know, I met them. And now I can consider them family because we've been through all the shit together. But at the time, they all introduced me. And I met this first sergeant. And he's like, I've been fucking looking for you. Where the fuck have you been? I was like, dog, like, I don't even know where I've been because, like, I'm new to this place. I don't know shit. So I I got attached to my group. I was in a comm shop. And for 5 months, you know, I got super, super close to, like, this group of people. And we went through everything together. We did all the training together, you know, went through all the bullshit together. And then after the 5 months of training, like the 5-month workup of all the field work, you know, ComExes, all that shit, we had like a final little like leave block where you get to say like goodbye. It's like pre-deployment leave. And like this was like my time to go home. And then, you know, I said my goodbyes, and low key gives me goosebumps, but like it was crazy because like it really was like some movie moment, dog.
Yeah, it's just like how it is in the movies. Like you say goodbyes, and then pack up, get in
Yeah.
the fucking plane.
Yeah,
And
and
you
it's just
out.
like, and you out, and that was it, bro. Like it was crazy, and like I couldn't believe like I was leaving. You know, my parents and like everyone else was like so emotional, and I'm just like, yeah, like deuces, dog.
Yeah.
I like, but like it like now that I think about it, like I can understand like why it meant like so much to them. You know what I'm saying? Like I was just a kid, and I was just like,
Yeah.
I know I was young, and you know, sending your kid off to combat like ain't easy.
Nah,
That's
hell
the
no.
worst fucking
And,
part, dog.
bro. Me and you, we wasn't. I didn't know none of this really. Me and Casey always been close, but I didn't know because we had a little break. You know, we just doing our
Yeah.
own thing. But when I heard you was deploying, I heard it through Kevin. He
Mhm.
told me, and I was like, oh shit, this dude ain't fucking around. Like here we go. Like best kudos to you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I know I can't do that shit. I know I ain't built for that boy shit.
Bro, even just hearing it from Instagram just kind of gave me goosebumps myself because I'm just
Yeah.
like, damn, son, one of these guys I've actually went to school with.
Yeah, and
Not
you're going,
just you,
you're
even
going to
Brian.
Afghanistan, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And when you told me that, I was like, oh shit. But describe, all right, so now, boom, you're in Afghanistan. Could you like describe that a bit, that experience?
Yeah. So I could talk a little bit. I'm not getting into like super deep.
No,
like,
yeah.
nitty-gritty.
But
Mhm.
you know, what
But
you
yeah,
can.
no. So like, you know, like it's kind of like what you guys would expect it in your head, man. It's just a sandbox, which is nothing, and there's literally nothing for hundreds of miles besides just desert and mountains, dog. And like the first day when I got there, dog, it was so fucking hot. I was like, this shit is booty cheeks, bro. I was like, this is crazy. I was like, I ain't ready for this, dog. Like coming from New York City, it's kind of cold.
Yeah.
You know, and like this shit's over like 100 something fucking degrees every day. And I'm like, damn, this shit crazy. But like getting off the plane, bro, once we got there, like it was fucking like a big slap in the face, dog. It was just like, oh shit, like this is getting fucking real. Like we pull up in the fucking like the Max Pros, bro, and the big ass like armored vehicles, and we're pulling up in that bitch and we're on our fucking rifle and our flak jackets.
Feeling badass.
Dead ass, bro. It's like some COD Warzone shit, bro. Dead
Uh-huh.
ass is really how it was.
Some Call of Duty. I was dead ass just about to say
Yeah.
some Call of Duty shit.
So like we all like pull up, dog, and that's just like it was crazy. Like it was just literally insane. And like throughout the months, you know, we got to experience a lot of events that were, I'm gonna say, traumatizing and also very like different. I'm gonna say different is definitely a good way. And it really, like, a lot of these events really tested me mentally to a point where like I lost sleep, bro. I really lost sleep on a lot of these events. You know, God bless, you know, all the whole group we're with, because we all came back alive. But there were times, man, where that shit was like, this shit was crazy. Like, so I was a medical radio operator for the medical crew there. So I got to see a lot of like the tragic events that happened, and I used to help them out with everything. And like, bro, like it really just like, it was like control chaos, bro. Like I can only like tell you like one story I'll tell you guys about.
Yeah, real quick. Yeah,
One
come on,
one
come
little
on.
one little
Yeah.
quick story I'll tell you.
You
guys
got my
about.
suspense going. My blood is ding, ding, ding.
So
Yeah.
one little like story. So, you know, on this base, there's like a loudspeaker, and one day they just called, you know, something over the radio. There's like this little like cool thing that they call, and I heard that shit, but they didn't say exercise, and I was like, oh, this is really happening right now. Like people got hurt or people got killed. It's one of the two. So like, you know, and me as a medical radio operator, you know, I'm knocked out because I was a night shift dude. So I just hauled ass, bro. I literally put on my like PJs, bro. I grabbed my rifle and I just fucking haul ass to medical, dog. And I'm like, what the fuck is happening? And then, you know, they said these Marines were caught in a rocket explosion. It was around 10 to 11 of them. And I was like, oh shit, like this shit really popping off. And like, it was this base that I always used to go to also. And like, I just felt like I'm not gonna lie to you, like progressively throughout my weeks, while I traveled a lot, I felt like my time was coming, bro. I was like, I feel like I always was ahead of the curve, and it was just getting closer and closer to my time.
Because you're seeing all these signs of this
Yeah.
shit. So you feel
Bro.
like it's like the Reaper's like right
Yeah.
there.
I was
you
like,
know?
he's right next to me. He's leaning
not
over
even
my
if, it's
shoulder.
when at that
Yeah,
point.
and
It's
I was
going
just
through your
like,
head.
fuck, man. I was like, shit, this is kind of crazy.
Did it
So,
sharpen like your instincts real quick? I mean, like, you know, when you feel like you're walking in, like, did you feel like you were anticipating trouble?
Yeah,
like,
of
did you become
course.
more
Yeah.
aware
'Cause,
every time it
bro,
happened?
like, once,
I mean,
like-
yeah, that
once you're in like
course,
this
yeah.
medical
Yeah.
room,
What I
it's
mean to
all
say
just
is like, yeah, what I mean to say is like, did you look for the signs? You get what I'm saying? Like, let's say if it was like a booby trap, something like that. I don't know how it went through, but like, did you keep an eye out for it?
of course, you know,
Yeah.
we're not stupid, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? But like,
you got
this
to.
was on the base, so like, we didn't really have to worry too much about shit like that. But like when it came to certain scenarios like that, like I was always on my P's and Q's. Like a rocket could just come out the sky and just fucking
Yeah, you
blow
have
me
to.
up,
You're
dog.
fucking Afghanistan.
Like
you know
I
what I'm
literally
saying?
like, but like it's shit like that. You're always on your toes, bro, no matter what. But like back to my story, I was literally like I said, I ran to medical and blah, blah, blah. I'm talking to my chief. And he's like, 10 Marines got hit by a rocket. And I was like, oh, shit. So they start calling in all these names, and I hear all these ZAP numbers and all these initials. And one of my boys is on this base because I used to go there all the time. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is where we always used to go when I was doing missions and shit like that. And, like, they're reading off the names, and I see them say, like, ZD. And I was like, ZD? Like, I only know one person with the first name Z. And it was my boy Zach. You can call him Zachary, whatever you guys want to call him. And I was like, what's the second initial? And they're like, D. I was like, are you positive? I was like, can you get a recall on that patient, please? Because, like, I would like to know if it's, like, my boy, because the short's not ZA. And then, like, they reassured it for me because I asked them. And then it ended up being, like, no shit, like, my homeboy, like, caught up in the explosion. And I was like, damn, bro. I was like, what the fuck? And at the time, like, he was kind of like my mentor. At the time, because I was just a little I was a corporal at the time, actually. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I was a corporal at the time, so he was kind of like my mentor, and he was a sergeant, and I was looking up to him, and we used to, like, shoot the shit, bro. You know what I'm saying? He was from Brooklyn. We deployed together. We're from the same unit. And, you know, like, it was just crazy. Like, you know, like, before, like, I got to him, though, like, all these people were just rushing into, like, the medical facility, and they're, like, in so much pain and agony and like, fear. And you can literally feel, like, the fear coming off these people, dog. And, like, that shit put fear in my heart. Because I saw these people with all these injuries and all the blood and all the fucking screaming. And I was just like, I don't want that to be me. I was like, bro, like, it's crazy because I feel like my time was coming soon. I was like, possibly, like, this could be me. I could be in that trauma care center right now getting operated on. And my mom don't even know this. Mom could be at work, you know? Like, imagine, like, what their families are thinking. Like, they're okay. But
yeah,
they're
and then
they're
dying on the table. And like you said, I can only imagine, like, the screams and shit. It's like in the movie, like, when they have the boom and you know what I'm saying? Like, holy fuck.
And there's no time. There's no time to have that fucking
process.
emotional reaction. You cannot do that because emotions will always cause you to fucking fail on the spot. Yeah. So it's just instinct. We're all working diligently. You know what I'm saying? We all did our job. We all worked, like, great. And, like, luckily, like, we saved everyone's life that day, dog. And, like, that was most important to me. Even though, like, in my head, I'm always just like, you know, in my head, I'm just like, we failed the mission. They got hurt. But in the end, we also did what we know best, and we helped save their lives, dog. And they all got home to their families.
And to this day, you're like, yeah, I fucking did that shit. Like, you know what I'm saying?
It's an amazing process to be part of, bro. It really is truly, like, an honor to, like, serve with those people that I was with, because I will never look at this experience like any other way if it wasn't for these people, dog. And that shit, like I said, forever ever changed my life. And, like, before he even got to fly out, like, on the helicopter to, like, yada yada yada, I looked at him, bro, like, on the chair, like, on the little trauma care, like, and I was just like, bro, what happened, dog? I was like, what happened? And he was like, they got me, dog. They fucking got me.
That's like a typical movie shit.
Yeah.
to have like a sense of humor through that, that's gold.
Nah,
Bro,
but yeah, that's like a movie. That's like a movie
That's
scene.
gold,
I can
man.
see that. Like, they got me, man. They fucking got me.
And I was looking at him, and I was like, and he's
Band
just,
the brothers shit.
yeah, bro. I was like, bro, I know you high as shit right now, so the drugs are definitely talking. I know you don't feel no pain, but I said, when you get back home, I definitely got you with a pimp cane, no cap. He's like, bet, I can't wait to use the fucking pimp cane. I better see you in Brooklyn. And I was like, say less, dog.
Wow.
Say less. And then that was the last time I saw him until, like, the time we were heading back home.
Wow.
What, like, you definitely, how was it just also, like, being, like, isolated like that in Afghanistan in the desert and whatnot? Like, you was just like, you know, did you have a hard time?
So being, I feel like, so isolated and away from the world, like, it really goes to show you, like, time is everything. Time is literally everything. You don't take anything for granted because every minute over there, like, counts. You know how we're, like, you're so distracted here, you know, in the United States, like, you have so many things. You're either walking around, you're on your phone, you're talking to someone, you're looking at the fucking sky, the skyscrapers, construction, just small distractions like that. There's, like, no distractions out there. Like, you just be thinking to yourself 24/7. You be thinking about everything every minute of the day. And, like, that's what I learned. Like I said, I will never take time and people for granted again, because those are two things you can never get back, dog.
Ever.
Those were the two most important lessons.
Yeah.
So, I said in the intro, you said your whole story, right? Kid that kind of been isolated from people, then became a social butterfly, like in high school, did JROTC, is a Marine. Sorry for saying was, is a Marine. you have the rear hat on. How the fuck you got into music and rap? That's the big question.
Oof.
Me, I would have never expected that. Yeah, we're in cars and you used to when we're driving around, everyone lip syncs like you know what I'm saying? But how, like a kid like you, like what made you say, yo, I could rap, or like, yo, I want to rap? What was that? Describe that process for me in that ongoing process.
So I started music, I'm gonna say like my freshman year of college, man. Like I was obviously still in the Marine Corps too. It kind of low key like helped me out, you know, gave me a little bit of like an influence. But like I started my freshman year because I heard this song on the radio. I'm not gonna mention whose song it is, but I heard this song on the radio and I was like, I can't believe this song is dead ass on the radio right now. Like this shit is garbage. And I was like, nah, I definitely could do something better. And I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm not trying to be that person, dog, and I'm not trying to sound like cocky or whatever, but like I always felt like I was destined for fucking greatness, and I always loved seeing celebrities. I feel like being a celebrity was just some fucking dope ass shit. And I was like, I want to be a fucking celebrity. I was like, I want to fucking do this. So, you know, I started, you know, with a friend of mine back then. You know, me and him are like not on okay terms. You know, I'm saying acquaintance now, but we worked. You know, I worked on music with him for a little bit. I just did it as a hobby, nothing serious. And then one day I was just like, nah, I'm gonna take this shit to the next level, dog. I was like, I think I could do this. And I was getting better. Every song I was doing, I can hear that I was getting better. And I just needed to perfect my craft and find my sound. So like, that's what all started it off. So I went to the studio. I met my engineer at the time. I'm not gonna say his name, you know, just out of respect. But, you know, I met him and bro, like he's my A&R to this day. He's my A&R right now. You know, we can call him Flip. That's what I'm gonna call him. So my A&R Flip, you know, I met him at the studio that day, and like, yo, he like took me to that next level. Ever since that day, like, I don't know what he saw in me, to be honest, but he just wanted to keep working with me, bro. Like, he was like, he would tell me when something was dead ass shitty, and like we worked together over and longer, and just months and months, like for every song that I made, and like we ended up building this fucking connection, dog. And like once he's like, you trying to get serious about this one day? And I was like, yeah, like absolutely. So like this was like before, like maybe like a year before I deployed. Like we started working like crazy, and we started perfecting my craft, and I started meeting new people. I started networking with all these people, and like he introduced me to like the whole lifestyle of like hip hop and music. And like it was
like
crazy,
industry,
bro. Yeah, it was fucking, it was so dope. And I was like, bro, like this is hella awesome. I started getting a lot of traction, a lot of followers, a lot of fucking crazy shit started happening. And you know, we took a lot of L's along the way, but like it's just all part of the learning process.
Right.
And then like before I dropped to Afghanistan, I dropped a project. You know what I'm saying? I had a little project. It was called Lonely Out in Space. And it was like my first like official project that I can say like I was proud of. You know, me and him worked for at least like a month or two on this product. And it was just like, I was so happy with the outcome. And like, this was like my old music, you know what I'm saying? Like,
was it a single or was it a whole?
It was a project.
It was a full project.
Yeah. So it was very small, a little small project, just to see like how my people will react, because people were like, never really took me serious, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, I would have never imagined, I think none of us would have never imagined you rapping. So when I heard you rapping, I'm like, the fuck, Casey rapping.
So like it took me some time. It took me some time to get good, bro. Like my music was booty cheeks when I started, bro. I'm not afraid to say like my music was garbage when I started off.
Everybody's
and I feel like a lot of people that would send it to say like, yo, this shit's dope. Like I hear it now, and I'm like, they were definitely lying to me, bro. Like
they weren't even real ones.
No,
though.
You can't have I was like, no. So like like I said, I dropped this first project. I worked super hard on it. And like I'm really happy with the results. And you know, this was like before I went to Afghanistan, and like the project ended up doing very well. You know, like I started marketing. I started learning the whole marketing process. I started learning about like advertising. I learned how to connect with people. I learned how to like put my shit out there. You know what I'm saying? And like once I started building this little foundation on myself, like I understood everything, and that's where it just all started like clicking for me. And I was like, I could be an artist, dog. I could do this shit independently. You know, my A&R Flip, we could make some crazy shit happen. And he taught me the ropes, bro. He taught me a lot how the game was. We did a campaign together. You know, we got the shit together, and then the songs started blowing up. Like I had one song that blew up on TikTok, and it just built so much more traction from like my account, and it ended up just being like insane. And then, you know, after Afghanistan, you know, I was like, I really want to take this music like seriously.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm gonna be a fucking artist. I'm gonna represent Brooklyn. This shit is bigger than me. It's a culture, bro. And a lot of people don't understand that. And the thing about music is like, it's one of those businesses that you have to invest in to like get money out of. It's an like you have to invest in yourself to gain profit. And that's just how it is. You have to build your brand, build your foundation. It's just like with this podcast, dog. You have to invest the money so that you're good and later on. Like a lot of these rappers, you think they just blow up in one day, but they've been doing that shit for years, bro. Years. And you don't even hear that shit. You know what I'm
Meek
saying?
Mill, 13 years.
Yeah.
Shout out,
That's
years.
how it is sometimes, man. It was a consistent grind. And, you know, once I got back home, I took that shit to like the next level, dog. And I started working with actual people, real teams, real management, my A&R. I started getting press articles. I started getting all these opportunities. I got a celebrity on the album. I got fucking, you know, I got...
This is for REER, right?
Yeah, this is for my new album, REER. And like I got this upcoming like Brooklyn artist, and I'm trying to bring Brooklyn together, bro. I feel like everyone just be shitting on everyone. Don't bring each other up instead of fucking...
Nah, but that's true because I was listening to an interview and they were saying now, why do you think down in the South these Southern rappers blew up so fast? It's because
they all bring each other up.
Exactly, but then we come over to New York
up.
to Brooklyn and it's like
it's competition.
Nah, nigga.
Yeah,
Nah.
it's competition. It's competition, and it's just like, bro, like, come on, man, like. But now, like I said, like right now, I'm in a great stance. I have this project. It's pretty much done. It's REER. You know, it's not really REER. It's like spelled and it looks like REER, but it's the actual word VEER. You know, if you guys know the definition of VEER, it's a sudden change in direction, and I feel like that's where this album like took it. I came back home from this experience, you know, in Afghanistan, and I want people to know now that I'm serious about this music shit, and I'm taking it to the next level. And I did that sudden change, and I want people to hear that in my music and hear that shit and be like, he's taking this shit serious now. Like this shit is for real, for real. So that's why I get all these press articles. I get all this crazy shit because now I feel like people take me a little more serious. Now I have a bigger fan base.
I can vouch for that. I'm one of the most, I don't give a fuck what anyone says. I'm one of the most realest motherfuckers out here with this rap shit. I really take rap serious. Just in, not rap shit, just music. Like, I'm a big rap fan. And just in general in life. And just me being your brother and your friend, your craft, and just the person, like, your elevation, bro, was just fucking amazing. Especially with your rap career. And, like, this, bro, the shit I heard when you was rapping, like, these songs that's coming out, it's gonna be popping. You know what I'm saying? Oh, yeah, they're gonna be popping. Like, at least if you may not like all of them, but you're gonna like at least one, and you're gonna see the big change in Casey. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And like the storytelling, like just the way you communicate, and just the art of it is just insane. I know that you're taking it serious. Like I could see it, and it's like, oh, it's like when people saw me with football, with my training shit. Y'all see it, like, oh shit, Ethan coming fucking different. And we're gonna talk about that story another time. But it was just like that. You know what I'm saying? And wow, Casey, like to top all this off, bro, you're going to the fucking top. Because you know why? We're brothers in the fucking deep end, and we're going to lift each other up. This is what this shit is for.
Of course.
And thank you for just sharing your fucking story, man.
Yeah, man. And like I said, like still to this day, like I'm still growing as a person, man. Like I feel like everything happens for a reason. And I feel like all the experiences, like I feel like everything just came together so perfectly in like unison, like Marine Corps, rapper. And like I just feel like if I merged them together, merged my whole experiences, like it was just such a great like pitch. Yeah. And it really makes me as a person like different, I feel like, compared to a lot of people.
Who wouldn't I'm thinking about it right now.
But if you think about it even further, the qualities that you get from the Marines, to that dedication, that grit, that hard work, all these things putting into the art, into the rap, it's easy work.
Yeah. It's
no one can stop you.
Yeah. It's easy work.
And that transition back home, that shit was crazy, man. Like, I was so motivated when I came back home because I took so much shit for granted. So when I got back home, I was like, fuck yeah. Music I'm going to take serious. I'm going to take college serious. I'm going to get this work, and I'm going to make sure I fucking outdo everything I do to make sure I'm on top in the end, dog.
You're always around people that uplift your morale, you know what I'm saying?
And that's key.
Yeah.
That's right now.
Marines.
To end this off, I just want to say, for one of us quick speech of why Casey is our brother, real quick. I think that's a pretty good way to end it off.
That is fire.
So I'll just say, Casey, you're my brother. Like I said in the beginning, I feel like, you know, you're my heart. You know, this made me get like a little emotional. You just been there with me through tough times, and like, you know, I don't know what I'll do without you, for real. So I'm just like extremely grateful for you as a brother. Kevin, you have something to say?
Just your growth from middle school, man. I remember speaking to you when you was in middle school, man. It was just so different. I think I think everybody was, you know what I'm saying? But then you just see that new person like right now in front of me. And it's like after high school, a lot has been going on with a lot of different people, you know, with and I know with you and y'all going to Afghanistan, and it's just it touched me a lot, you know what I'm saying? Bro, ever since we've been working on this, and even in the past, Man, our bond has actually grew stronger, and I'm very grateful for that, man. Honestly.
Nah, me too, for real.
Yeah.
Adrian?
Yeah, man. No, like you being, us just getting closer now because I didn't grow up with you. And
Yeah,
even though it's a 4, I didn't see you
Mhm.
before. I'm 2 years older than you guys, but you being vulnerable, you being open, you being a super humble guy, and also going out of your way to come and mediate, some situations that we had or whatever in the past, whatnot, and you being there and you being, the guy to be like, listen, look at it through this way, look at it through that way. I want you to be great. I want you to do good. I want you to have these lessons or whatever. You didn't have to do that.
No, of course
know what I'm
not,
saying?
man. Yeah, I feel that, bro.
You don't have to do that.
And, like, I appreciate all 3 of you guys, man. Like, I really do. Like, I'm a very big believer that everything happens for a reason. And I feel like the reason all 4 of us right now in this room are together is because we can change the world. We have a story and we have a vision, and we're not going to stop until we get that vision, bro. And each one of you has brought so much knowledge and changed my life in such a drastic way, dog, within these last couple months. Like, I'm so grateful. Like, when I got back home, like, I reconnected with Ethan and, like, we built that relationship, and now we're just like this, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, that shit means so much more to me. Just like, cause it really goes to show you, man, like time is everything, bro.
Yeah.
Time is everything, and the people around you is everything. You can never take 2 things for granted, bro. Like, it's time and people. Like, you can't take those 2 things for granted, because time you can never get back and people you can never get back. And everyone in this room, I believe, is one of a kind, bro.
Facts.
Always brothers in the deep end.
Just like that. Thank you for tuning in and listening. I hope you enjoyed this story, because I did. Like, subscribe, comment, follow. Brothers in the Deep End.